Hello, I'm Pekka Korpi with Mikko Juola here. Today, we'll discuss a common problem where people assigned to tasks with long life cycles change roles or leave the company before the task is complete. So these could be, for example, problem or change management tickets. We want to show you how to use Data Content Manager to find these tasks easily. And it starts by creating a blueprint.
Yes, as always, with DCM, everything starts with the blueprint. So let's create a new one. And actually, this use case is very similar to finding business application owners and other responsibilities that we've talked about before. So basically the same thing, but now for tickets. So we create a new blueprint from scratch. And we want to start it from the task table, which is the parent of all kinds of tickets. So with the same blueprint, you can then audit problems and changes and whatever you want. And when we talk about assignment, you can do it on a user level or to a group. So let's put them both here and start by defining the assignment group. And that group needs to be active. And then we can have a direct assignment to user, and that user needs to be active too. And behind the group, there should be users as well. So we can check that those groups have members. And those members need to be active as well. So now we have the basic setup available. We're checking that every task has an assignment group which is active. It has an assigned to user which is active, and the group has members which are active.
So in real life, doesn't often happen so that when the task is created, it's first assigned to the group, and then the group, perhaps by themselves, they decide who it actually goes into as a person?
Yeah, that's true. So we can't always know whether it's a task or a user who it should be assigned to, but it should be assigned to somebody. So we can actually fine-tune this blueprint a bit and say that those two links are alternatives, and then say that it's enough if you have one of them.
Okay, so that adds a little bit of flexibility there, I guess.
Yeah, so if in the beginning of the process the assignment is to a group, and maybe towards the resolution then it's to an assignment to a user, so this would cover both, and enough to have one of them. Okay,
and that's of course the main thing, is that finding somebody active, regardless of if it's a individual or a group that this task has been assigned to. So it's not an orphan.
Yes. Speaking of orphans, I don't know if it's really a group if there is only one person in it. So let's add one more thing, saying that in the group there has to be at least two members. So now it's checking that there is a group, and that group has at least two active members.
Well, that makes sense.
And then one last thing we could do is add a role. So you need to have some user roles in order to complete the tasks. So we can check that the assignee has the required roles. And to look for a specific role, we can add a filter to this role and say that it should be the ITIL role, for example. And with this, we're only checking for roles with ITIL. So you can, of course, have some other roles, but maybe not relevant for the task you're working with.
Okay, so I mean, it looks pretty complete to me. So you basically, you're just dragging and dropping things on the canvas, drawing your blueprint, and then I guess you're going to be using this to run an audit against real data, right?
Exactly. So we have to publish the blueprint, and then we can run our test audit. So let's go to the audit and do an on-demand. So with this, we can verify that our blueprint is correctly defined and it works as planned. And if we want to limit this to problem tickets and only the active ones, we'll get 71 problems. So that's a nice sample for our test. So let's start. And what happens now is that it will take those 71 problems and start checking each of the links in the blueprint and checking all the conditions behind these links. And maybe after a minute, we get a result saying how our tickets look like. Okay, we have some results. So 15%, meaning 11 problem tickets, have critical issues, basically meaning that the assignment information is missing like totally. Then we have some issues related to the filters or kind of additional conditions we added. So maybe they are not active or doesn't have the required roles. So if we look at one of the problem tickets at random, basically, here it says that it doesn't have the required user role. So Beverly is assigned to one of the tickets, but she doesn't have the ITIL role.
So basically, she's not going to be able to complete the task without that role. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be the case. And the other thing we definitely want to check is the result through the blueprint elements. And here, if we open the task section, we see that there are some tickets without any assignment. So this is the link group we created in the blueprint. And we see that there is 11 tasks that don't have either one. They don't have an assignee and they don't have an assignment group.
These are the orphans then?
Yeah, these are like totally orphan tickets. And then on top, we have some users without roles. So this would show us that the task has been assigned to one of these people, but they cannot really complete the task because they are missing the required roles.
Right.
And of course, keeping in mind, this is just demo data, but in a real life, people can change role, change the company. So this can definitely happen.
So now you have visibility into what is wrong. And then, of course, you're going to be able to fix these things. And you can also assign tasks automatically for the people who are supposed to fix these things. That's my understanding as well. So basically, once you create the blueprint, schedule it to run on a regular basis, for example, once a day or whatever the frequency makes sense. You're basically automating this entire thing.
Exactly. So these audit messages can trigger task creation and assignment to the appropriate team or a person. So even here you can see that like show related task is grayed out, that rule is not active, but we can simply activate the task creation and create tickets based on these messages. Nice.
And I guess you can even audit the tasks created by DCM to fix the tasks that the
Yes, of course.
Yeah. That's going to create a interesting philosophical discussion about the nature of tasks.
Yeah, so DCM tasks are also extended from this task, so you can run the same audit against those.
Okay, well, that's very nice. Thanks, Mikko, for that. So basically what we've done here now is create a data model for tasks by dragging and dropping things on a canvas, and that created our blueprint. Then we run an audit, got results, and we now have the ability to automate those results, create more tasks for people who need to fix them, and basically we can automate the entire thing. So it seems like a very solid solution for a sometimes complicated problem. I think you'd have to write a bunch of script to do this without DCM.
Yeah, these sort of alternative links and checking multiple members and roles can be quite tricky with traditional reporting alone. So you need to do some scripting or customizations.
And this took like 5 minutes. So I think that's pretty cool. So if you're interested in how you could apply this into your environment, feel free to get in touch with us. You can reach us at datacontentmanager.com. You can book a meeting with us, or if you want to see more examples, there's plenty in our blog. And there's also contact forms and things like that. So you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to give you a private demo showing you exactly how you can do this in your own ServiceNow instance.
Yeah, and you get a free trial as well if you want to try this exact same use case. So we can help you with that.
That's perfect. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.